all roads lead to New York. Unfortunately, that's also true with all threats when you consider things like international terrorism in the post-9/11 world. Because of that, no police department on the planet Earth has committed the amount of resources or the amount of money to mitigating the terrorist threat than the NYPD has. And that goes from the street level, the NYPD bomb squad. They're going on over 2,000 sweeps with bomb detection canine, clearing locations, but also responding to calls. They are not just the oldest bomb squad in the country, but also the most experienced. You combine that with the other street level piece, which is the CRC, Critical Response Command. We look at the threat matrix every day. Where is the threat today? What just happened overseas? What kinds of places are being targeted? And then we deploy CRC officers to those locations where we think visible police protection is the kind of thing that will help mitigate that threat in that place on that day. One of the great things about the CRC is its flexibility. Every day we shift those units around. So if you were trying to plan something, it's really hard to know what the protection picture is going to be because it's constantly shifting with the threat stream. What a lot of people don't know is in the Intelligence Bureau, 60% of what we do is criminal work as opposed to intelligence and counterterrorism. In the streets, the field intelligence officers, they're looking at the people, the places, and the things that are the drivers of violence in our neighborhoods. Who are the shooters? What are the gangs or the crews? Where are the places that are violence prone? Last year, they executed 1,500 search warrants where they were able to get over 1,100 guns out of those places. The NCOs, they've got their thumb on the pulse of the community. The FIOs, the field intelligence officers, they have their thumb on the pulse of the criminal activity. When you take those two information streams and put them together, you've got a pretty clear picture of what's going on in terms of potential crime and a pretty good idea of how to get out ahead of that. When you look at the threat against New York City from an international standpoint, that's where the JTTF, the Joint Terrorism Task Force, comes in. That's over 100 NYPD detectives with over 100 FBI agents. And then you connect that international piece to the NYPD Intelligence Bureau, which really has their ear to the ground on the streets of New York. And that is why we've been able, since 9/11 alone, to prevent almost 30 terrorist attacks that were either being plotted in New York or plotted against New York City. We have cop-to-cop relationships, police department to police department relationships, where 14 New York City police detectives are assigned to places like London, Paris, Madrid, and they are embedded in those police departments and working with their intelligence, their counterterrorism, their detectives. That relationship becomes critical. It becomes critical when there's a terrorist attack in one of those cities. We need to know what were the tactics, what were the procedures, what can we learn from that in terms of where to deploy CRC officers in New York City to protect locations that might be related. And the Foreign Liaison Program, which allows us to place those detectives in all of those foreign police departments, that's our direct connection. During a terrorist attack, that's our hotline. It's been a remarkable year for the NYPD, for the Intelligence Bureau and the Counterterrorism Bureau. We remain vigilant always, but we also understand that we don't do this alone. It's about having the FBI and the JTTF. It's about having the 56 other federal agencies that are part of that team. It's about our foreign partners in those other cities because our network has to be stronger than the bad guys' network. That's why we prevail. That's how we win. That's how we keep New York safe. We do it together.